Sup everyone, welcome back to Jades Corner. On this newest edition of the Fantasy Fight series, we'll settle the score on who would win in a fight to the death between the first modern day True Alpha, Scott McCall, and Underworld's first Lycan, Lucian. These two powerful supernaturals from Underworld and Teen Wolf possess incredible powers and abilities that will make a fight between them pretty interesting, and these two will be fighting at their absolute peaks, which means they'll be fighting in their most powerful states. So join me as we break down the battle between these two characters regarding strength and skill, speed and agility, durability, endurance, combat experience, and hacks. But before we begin this fight to the death, if you're new here, subscribe, hit that like button. We're well on our way to 16,000 subscribers, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all things supernatural, including these thrilling battles. So let's see who wins this battle between the first of the two modern True Alphas and the first Lycan.
The world's fiercest fighters await! Will you be the last warrior standing? The craziest and wildest fighters have assembled from around the world to join in the fight. But only one will be declared the best!
Then end it, Peter. Because you won't get another chance.
It has begun! Are you ready? Who will emerge a champion? Let's get started!
So of all the fantasy fights I've done, this might be one of the quickest ones. I don't think this one will probably be more than like 5 minutes, because this is pretty much a one-sided overkill of a fight. So yeah, for strength and skill, I'm gonna give it to Lucian. Obviously he's older than Scott, he's way stronger, his universe overall scale is way higher than Teen Wolf does, and Lucian can pretty much take on the entire Teen Wolf verse on his own if he wanted to, including the Beast of Jevodan. Now I'm not sure if he could beat the Beast, but he could definitely fight him way better than Scott was able to, for damn sure. And in terms of just having more strength and skill than Scott, Lucian is a pretty well versed swordsman, and he's pretty strong, being the strongest of the Lycans and the oldest of the Lycans. You know, the Lycans being the first werewolves to be able to transform into human form in the Underworld universe. And as for Scott, Scott's relatively strong in his own verse. I've talked about him in a previous video I covered. I think it was the Scott versus Liam video I did last month or 2 months ago, wherever it was. By the time I'm recording this, it's the end of March, so I'm pretty sure it was like last month, back in February. But I covered his strength feats. Scott's strength feats are relatively impressive, especially as an adult, which is his peak. None of his strength feats we see from him are enough to scale over Lucian. He has some strength feats that are definitely in the conversation for whether or not they're more impressive to Lucian's, but overall I'm gonna give this to Lucian for strength and skill, so Lucian takes this one.
Will the tide of battle turn?
So for speed, this is gonna be very quick because I don't even think there's an argument to be made here. It's going to Lucian 100%. It's not even up for debate. Like, Scott really only rivals Lucian in like one category, but even then I think that Scott is a little bit superior to Lucian in that category. But yeah, for speed, it's definitely going to Lucian, so Lucian takes speed.
What will happen now?
Now for agility, I would actually give this a tie. So for agility, Scott and Lucian both use their agility really well when they fight their opponents, and I would expect them to use their agility really well when fighting each other in a hypothetical situation. So yeah, for agility, I'm gonna give a tie to both of them. I think none of them really uses their agility better than the other. They're kind of relatively the same in my opinion. So yeah, agility's a tie.
And the battle continues.
This one's gonna be very quick as well. Durability 100% goes to Lucian. This isn't even arguable at all whatsoever. Lucian can take more damage. He was only able to be killed by silver bullet rounds fired from Craven like 700, 800 years after he was born or some shit like that. Actually, no, I think Lucian's older than that if I'm correct. I don't know his exact age, but I'm pretty sure he's a little bit older than Selene is, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway, As for Scott, Scott literally got killed by having claws shoved in his chest by Theo Rakin, which is pathetic and was one of the worst L's Scott ever took. Mind you, he had just fought a superpowered Liam, so you kind of got to give him some grace there. And he was inhaling 3 weeks worth of Wolf's Bane, so he was heavily weakened and depowered in that fight too. But still, the way he got taken out, like, really, you just got killed by a couple of claws being shoved in your chest, bro. Come on, bro. Durability easily goes to Lucian, not even up for discussion or debate.
Let's keep it up.
Endurance as well goes to Lucian. This isn't even up for debate either. Lucian is seen being able to fight longer, fight on par for extended periods of time with way superior opponents than anything the Teen Wolf universe has to offer. And as for Scott McCall, he does have pretty good endurance. I'm not going to lie, like, his endurance is better than a lot of the characters in Teen Wolf, but if he does take enough damage, which does happen most of the time in Scott's fights, he can be tired out pretty quick, and it kind of takes him a little bit to recover. So for endurance, I'm going to give this to Lucian as well. Lucian has higher stamina than Scott does.
Pick up the pace.
Again, another category that will probably take a couple of seconds to answer because this is very, very one-sided in terms of these next two categories, and even the third one's pretty one-sided. Combat experience goes to Lucian. Not gonna speak about this any longer, should be self-explanatory. Has hundreds of years of combat experience over Scott. Scott's only been a werewolf in the Teen Wolf universe for about a decade and a half. So yeah, decade and a half compared to hundreds of years. Come on, bro. Go to Lucian.
Pull out all the stops. Who will emerge victorious?
Again, experience goes to Lucian, hundreds of years over Scott, way more experience using his powers, way more in tune with his Lycan nature. Shouldn't even be up for discussion or debate either. This goes to Lucian. So, like I said, we're gonna get through these last couple of sections very quickly.
It all comes down to this. This match decides the winner. This is the last round.
And once again, hacks goes to Lucian. Now, I do think that Scott has more overall abilities than Lucian does. Actually, I'm pretty confident in saying that he does, you know, with being able to do the whole memory thing with his claws sticking inside another person's neck, supernatural or human, and all the other abilities that come with being an alpha in Teen Wolf. The reason why I give Lucian the edge is because Lucian can transform at will into his Lycan form, and his Lycan form gives him significant advantages as opposed to him fighting in his human form. Those advantages outweighing any abilities and any sort of, you know, hacks that Scott can do in his normal form, because Scott has been able to transform temporarily into like a beast-like state, but it's not something he can do consistently. He only did it once while he absolutely lost control of himself in season 4. So yeah, Lucian can do it at will. For Scott, Scott has to be put in a certain mindset, and he has to be put in certain situations, which I think this can definitely qualify for one of those situations, but I don't think Scott would be in that mindset to, you know, go on full kill mode for him to fully transform into that state. Gonna give Lucian the edge solely because he can transform into his Lycan form at will, and pretty quickly too. Like, it's a pretty instant transformation. It's not like one of these other werewolf transformations where you sit there and you wait for 5 minutes for him to get through the painful process of the bones breaking and stuff. Like, no, it's literally like it's like the flick of a switch. It's very instant. Lucian takes hacks, and the obvious winner of this video is Lucian. Lucian wins very low difficulty, or low difficulty, whichever you want to go with, doesn't matter to me. And for the loser, well, sorry Scott, but
Game over. You lose. Finish him.
Your soul is mine.
Fatality.
overall though, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, as it helps this video perform better in the YouTube algorithm and reach more people. Comment your thoughts on this video below. I go through all the comments, so any feedback is appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider making today that day. And when you subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell icon and set those notifications to all so that you never miss a future video. Like I mentioned at the start, we're well on the road to 16,000 subscribers. We just hit, I think, 15,300 subscribers recently, so we're about to reach halfway to 16k soon. Also, don't forget to join my Discord server linked below. All my socials and other versus battle channels are also linked below in the description as well. Sorry for the delay on this video. This video was supposed to be out like 2.5 weeks ago, but March has been a pretty busy month and I have an internship now, so that's my main focus, with YouTube and my other endeavors being put to the backside for now. Though nothing's really changing with the channel, I'm just probably not going to be uploading as frequently, though I'm going to try to upload whenever I can. So just a small update there. But until next time, this is Jades Corner signing off. Peace. And now a sneak peek and tease for the next Fantasy Fights video. See you all next time.